Voilà. Een klapje.
Yes.
Tom Mulder.
Yes. Hello.
So, just an insider information. We just did 30 minutes of the podcast, and there was no sound recording. So we're starting over.
Yeah.
But honestly, happy to do it over again.
Yeah,
to see
sure.
you again after. It must be like 15 years or something.
Something like that.
Last seen each other.
2007.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Film school, RITS in Brussels.
Yeah.
And so now, Tom, I followed you on social media, which is always nice. All the people we knew from back then.
Yeah.
And I see some stuff coming by, and like it looks really awesome what you do, because you're a colorist now for
correct
for fiction.
Yeah.
Can you explain us a little bit what you do?
Yeah, it's just making a look for a project that can be a film, TV series, commercial, whatever. Just create a look to support the story that's being told, to make it look nice, consistent, because sometimes you have different cameras and angles and they don't match. So that's also a part of the job, just to make everything flow, let's say. And then on top you put a nice look that supports the story in that way. And
so you're in charge of the coloring, the color grading, and the look. Like actually, you talk to directors too and like advise them, or
sometimes I give my input, but in most cases they come to me, the director and the director of photography, that they have a certain style they want to make. Let's say they give me references like paintings or pictures or even other films, and then we go through, we recreate or create something in the same style, and we give our own touch to it, to see if it works. And it's a process of give and take, because we are all different people, so everybody has his own opinion on some stuff. But in the end, it always comes out fine. So
it looks great when you put out. I also like that you share some of your projects, that you share some stills. And
it's a bit. It's very simply said. It's a bit free advertising, of course. But
because you do this. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with some of the projects I do. So it's always fun to share it with other people.
And you do this for a company, or do you?
I used to do that for a company, but now I'm freelancing.
Okay.
So,
And like recently, or?
I started freelancing in 2019. Before that, I worked for 10 or 11 years for the same company, Ace Digital House.
Okay.
They were first in Evere.
Yeah.
And then they moved to Zaventem.
Okay. It's not far.
Yeah, and then in 2019, I started freelancing. Yeah.
Okay.
Working all over the place.
Yeah.
Abroad and also, so
cool.
Yeah,
because I can imagine also not everything you do is always like readily available online, or like usually films are in theaters for only a certain amount of time, and then like if you do more independent films, maybe like.
Yeah, it all depends. It depends on what the end product will be, so what the master will be. So sometimes it will be in cinema, so we have to grade it in a cinema. And then it also depends on where does it have to be graded, because sometimes I'm in Holland, sometimes I'm in Belgium, sometimes I'm in France. I'm a bit all over the place.
Travel.
I travel. I try to do as much as possible close to the family. That's why I also have an office at my home now. But yeah, it's not always the case. It mostly depends on tax reasons. It's very simple. In Belgium, you have the tax shelter system. In Holland, you have the incentive system, and they all give subsidies to those films. So yeah, you have to. One of those conditions is that you have to spend that money also in the country that gave the subsidy. So that's why you have to travel sometimes.
I've always thought that was a good thing they did for European films, you know, like ever since they started that tax shelter, when they installed it, like you saw like all these collaborations, and like I remember even one of the Michael Pas wasn't he in a Lars von Trier movie at some point too?
Oh, could be.
Where I'm like, that was like not so long after that tax shelter thing, where you started all of a sudden seeing more Belgian actors popping up in like a German production, or maybe it's just me, but like I always felt that. But it's like a good way to promote it, you know, like because it does cost a lot of money to produce all of these things.
Yeah, and for sure. Yeah.
Ever since internet and TV, it's been harder for theaters, for movie theaters to get people to
because of the streamers, of course.
But there's so many, like we get so many visuals. We're exposed to so many visuals already that like the whole cinema thing is only a tiny part of that. Even though I think like personally it's coming back a little bit, like that thing of going to the movies.
It's always an extra
but it's nice
going
too,
to cinema, of course.
But it's nice, like you can make it an event now too, right? Like, and it's you can actually focus on a movie, like with the perfect sounds, perfect
that's the
colors.
whole idea of the cinema. It's you can focus more on the sound, on the image itself, but it's also a collective thing. Together in one room with like 200 people or so, all having that same emotion, reacting to a story. That's just nice. That's something you don't have at home.
No.
And then if you have a cinema with perfect quality of projection and sound, it's amazing. So that's always my preferences. To go to the cinema and so
do you go?
I try to go a lot, but I have to be honest, when you work all day in the cinema or at home in front of a screen,
you're in a dark room. Right?
Sometimes you're just happy just to be outside. But nevertheless, I always like going to the cinema for sure. But if you do it all the time, sometimes you just want to go outside.
Of course. No. Okay. So, can you tell me a little bit, like, how was the young Tom? How was it like to be the young Tom? Like, did you come from because I remember you're a drummer too.
Yeah.
And so, like, there's a musical connection, but like, how did that start? How did this, where does this come from?
It started because my father wasn't in music, in more classical music. He was a conductor at an orchestra at the town we lived. And actually my brother also, he played the clarinet there. So it was a bit in our family. And then at the age of 6, I went to the music school, classical music school from 6 till my 18 year.
Like properly learning notes.
Reading notes, singing them.
Looking at an instrument, but not being allowed to touch it.
The first 1 or 2 years, it was without instruments.
Sounds
so it was
horrible. Sounds horrible to me.
It was reading notes, time signatures, stuff like this. And then after the second year, you have to choose your instrument. And for me, that was drums and percussion. So,
Okay. And then you did this for a long time, or like, was this your big focus of you? Like,
in the beginning, no, because to be honest, I hated it because it was too theoretical for me. But after a while, when you got the instrument, it was very nice. So, and then I played also at the orchestra. My father was conductor. So that was nice.
And then you got together
Every Friday evening. It was
weekly.
an orchestra with 30, 35 people.
Yeah.
So it was nice.
And for years then.
For years, yeah. And then I think I don't know when I stopped. I stopped when my father retired from conducting. I don't know at what age that was. But after that I also played in bands. Two small bands, but it was nice. So yeah. So the first one was Lipstick Traces. It was in the Ghent area. It was a cover band. Mm-hmm. And then the other one was Animal Wonka.
I remember that.
A bit of indie style, Pixies, stuff like this.
Is it on Spotify or something?
I don't think so.
No.
we stopped.
None of the members bothered to.
We stopped playing together before Spotify was a thing.
I recently, well, same for me, and I had I think three bands and stuff. Yeah.
The one I remember was Jacket.
Jacket, yeah. Jacket is fine.
Yeah.
It's my baby. But Jacket is on Spotify. And
cool.
But it was also because I had to step up and do it, because sorry. You have to get into it a little bit, and you need to pay some money to get stuff online.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But honestly, I like the fact that people can easily find it, even though it's a dead band, but it's kind of nice to have, because otherwise it's in your drawer. I still have a bunch of demos here.
It's completely dead. No chance of.
Well, in the spirit of all of these reunions lately, but I wouldn't mind, but I wouldn't start up the band anymore.
Okay.
I think no, it's it's been a while too. I would love to be in a band again. To find that. I always loved creating, and then but it's very intense. It takes a lot of time and energy. Yeah. So I've been trying to write for myself a little bit. I don't know, in the spirit of 2023, and being able to put stuff on Spotify. Yeah. And what if I write a couple of songs and maybe enough to get a little EP or whatever, and it's gonna be all over the place. It's gonna be punk and and also some sad stuff and but it's gonna be me. So
that's true.
Who knows?
It's important to have that outlet too.
Right. But also today you have I don't know, I feel the possibilities are endless, and you have these people breaking through musically, which is not my ambition or something, but making stuff in GarageBand, with a shitty mic and some MIDI kind of stuff, you can do so much. All the amp modulators you have in I like to use GarageBand because it's just such an easy entry, and it already has so much in it. For to make a demo, you have everything you need in there. You could go to Logic, but then it's just gonna overcomplicate stuff. I think and also if I would record something proper, I would go to a professional, of course, in the end phase, but in pre-production, little drum, little thing, little bass line,
sure.
There's my band.
Yeah, of course. Why not?
It's just too bad we can't meet each other.
Yeah, I see lots of videos on YouTube popping up, and then you see all the picture next to each other, all of the same guy playing all the instruments. It's nice.
It's fun. It's right?
Nice.
And that would have been so much harder 15 years ago. Right? Just to edit. I remember editing our final our final projects in film school, or you had to you first had to upload all the footage with the Firewire and play it all through from the little tape
with a cracked version of Final Cut 7 stuff like this.
But because they were so expensive, all of those things were so expensive. Now they probably all have subscription based models, and it's totally affordable. But back in the day, even Photoshop and all that stuff, that was super expensive. Yeah. Now it's 10 euros a month, and you have
something like that.
Everything, every update, every new. It's nice. Sometimes I think it's nice living in the future.
Yeah.
It's like, except for all of the shit that's happening right now. But
Yeah.
but like technology wise, what you can do, like you could totally make an independent movie, like by yourself. Like, you know, I have an Sony FX6 lying around here. I'm like,
it's
that
funny.
is a beast, you know.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good because I did a film.
On an FX6, right? Yeah, but you could
FX6.
totally do it. It's like, it's compared to what we had back in the day. For that
that's true.
price, you couldn't buy anything proper. Like you could maybe rent a film camera, but then you had to get the film, or like, I don't know, like, no, probably not.
Yeah, you can rent a film camera, I think, but buying film, actual film is that's more expensive now. Eh?
Yeah, I am sure. Yeah.
Also
it tripled in price, I think,
for developing and stuff like this.
Is there still a lot of stuff being shot on film, or because you have a good overview, I guess, maybe?
Yeah,
what's
for
happening?
bigger projects, no. Sometimes we try, but
you try to push it.
Yeah.
Because you like it.
Yeah,
like the color
just the
better?
Visual style of film is amazing, and the latitude it has, and the color depth you have in there is very
What's the
nice.
latitude?
It's the range of amount of stops and how the highlights roll off and stuff like this. No, it's amazing, but it's because it's used less. It's more expensive also, especially in our area, also for developing and stuff like this. It's too expensive, but the visual quality is amazing of it. So sometimes I see smaller projects like short films and commercials even that are partially or completely shot on film, which is nice. It's nice to keep it alive, of course, and I hope to have a full feature film on film in the future. But it's also not necessary. It's a beautiful medium, but you can tell stories also with other.
In the end, it's about
the digital cameras nowadays are amazing. So it's very nice. You can mimic also the look or emulate the look on those cameras. Also, it's never exactly the same, but you can get very close. So
and you add grain and stuff.
Grain, texture, lens, vignetting, whatever, color depth, density, saturation. The saturation of film behaves differently than on digital cameras.
Yeah.
So you can add that also. But it's a bit very technical, and but it's possible.
Yeah. Okay. What software do you work in?
I'm capable working in the most current softwares available now, like Baselight, DaVinci Resolve, Nucoda is also still out there. It's a bit less now. But the main tools are Baselight and Resolve. At home I have Resolve because we have to be honest, it's cheaper.
And everyone's talking
Resolve is super cheap.
About it.
It's super cheap. Before it was acquired by Blackmagic, I think it costs like 200 or 300K. Just for the suite. And then
DaVinci.
Really? Yeah, before it was DaVinci. It was a company of its own, but then Blackmagic acquired it,
and it was a very professional standard or what? Or
it was it was super high end.
Okay. And so they bought it, and then
they bought it. They dropped the price of the software a lot.
You have like a basic package free, I think.
I think for the software it's like 300 euros or something.
People have been talking about it because now you can buy that controller, like a little hardware controller from DaVinci,
the panel.
The panel, and then
and you get the software.
Then you get the suite or whatever the big thing included. So it's, I don't know, it sounds great, but I'm a Premiere. I'm an Adobe because of the photography too. I think it's kind of nice that I have Lightroom and Premiere and After Effects, which I don't really use, but it's all kind of in the same
Yeah,
But the Da Vinci, I'm like,
yeah, Da Vinci is nice. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not into the editing part of Da Vinci, so I cannot tell
I know,
a
well,
lot of things about that. But yeah, for coloring, it's amazing what you can do with it. But I have to be honest, I'm a bit more fan of Baselight,
I've never
which
heard
is
of that.
it's from Filmlight. It's more it's more expensive, so that's why I don't have it. It's too expensive to have it on your own as a freelancer. But the tools that are in there are yeah, amazing.
Yeah?
They are much more they behave much more natural, like you want to, like you expect. And I can get results to a certain look faster on a Baselight than on a Resolve.
Okay.
But yeah, that's just how it is. But it's too expensive. But yeah,
That's also like one of those really professional.
yeah, I think the entry price is around 60, 70, 80K.
Oof.
But it's all it's the software plus the computer because they have their own dedicated hardware system.
It's like the old school.
Yeah,
way a
but
little
old
bit,
school.
right?
Yeah.
I remember that's how it was. Like, remember when like everything was Avid, the editing software? I don't know if they still use it.
Yeah,
it's still
Avid is still one of the biggest.
Yeah, because I remember that was the thing, you know, like for editors, and then like Final Cut was just coming up or something, or like, and then I don't know. I think at some point that became like a standard too. But I remember people getting shit for Final Cut for using Final Cut too, where it was like a bit amateur, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like professional editors might still think this of Premiere, but like,
yeah, maybe I don't know. I have to be honest. I don't know Premiere that well, so
no, I've gotten to know it. It's like but I don't use a lot of effects and stuff.
Oh yeah,
so
okay,
like,
yeah.
I like it.
Okay,
it works. It works, you know.
Yeah,
it renders my little art pieces.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So, okay.
In the end, the tool is not important. It's what you do yourself. It's more important than the tool you use. It's also the same in grading for me. The tool is just something to help you get your creativity out there. So if it's Resolve or Baselight or Nucoda or whatever, it doesn't matter. So, but yeah, every tool has its advantages and disadvantages. So
exactly.
So yeah.
Okay, but good to know. It's always like I've always thought that you have like probably a good overview of what's happening in the film fiction world in Belgium, at least, like or Belgium, Netherlands. Because you're in that final step every time, right? Like you see a lot of like.
I try to have that, but I don't know everything. Of course, what's going on because I don't do everything.
No.
It's not possible to do everything.
No.
But I try to have a good overview. Of course, it's important, especially as a freelance, you have to know a bit what's going on, because you have to make your living out of it, of course. So.
Are there can you spot trends in terms of color grading? You know, like over the past, and how long have you been working as a colorist now? Like 15 years?
Yes, something like that. 15 years. Yeah.
So over the 15 years, have you seen like trends or like things that like all of a sudden everybody wants teal and orange, or like
teal and orange is something.
It's always been there.
It's always been there. No, but at the beginning when the first good digital cameras came out, like the Arri Alexa and stuff, everybody wanted the logarithmic look.
It was like very flat,
super flat, and I really hated it. I really hated it, but it was a thing. But luckily, 2 years later, it was
everybody got over it. Like, okay, we're ready to color grade our footage now.
Yeah. And then there are some key films that are always an inspiration for that area, for that time period. So like I think 2 years ago you had Joker.
I was gonna.
Very good film.
Absolutely.
Also, grading wise, amazing. And yeah, still people are now using that as a reference. We want to look. It needs to look as Joker, or then.
Yeah.
And for me that's okay, but for me it has to work also for the story. So it's important that it all matches up, because it's weird that you make something look like Joker, but if it doesn't fit the story, it doesn't make any sense. So that's
And that's something you help guide sometimes too, maybe. Or...
Yeah, I try to think about it, but sometimes I don't have the final word. Of course, I work in service of.
But neither has the director of photography, I can imagine, right? Like, isn't it the director in the end that, like, if the director says...
Yeah, the director has the final creative decision, let's say, but it's always
of course.
You have meetings about that, and you discuss this, of course. So there's also always something from everybody in there. But
you work together to build the thing, right?
That's what I also love about it, just working together to create something nice in the vision of the director, and that's just nice because it can be very stressful because of deadlines and stuff, but in a way it's also relaxing because you are mostly in the grading room. We are sitting 2-3 people together, the director of photography, and myself.
It's cozy.
Yeah,
it's nice,
and it's a nice atmosphere, you know.
But there are probably also like happy the shooting went, or like because by the or is it no? It's like only after the shooting is wrapped up, they come to you, right?
Yeah, sometimes
or
when
sometimes
there are,
in the middle.
Yeah, sometimes when there are issues on set, we go in the middle of the shoot to test something. Can we use it or not, and stuff like this.
So they know if they
but it's more to assure the people on set that it's usable, or it's good or not. But yeah, the grading is most of the time they start shooting. During the shoot, they start editing in most cases, and then the editing takes 2-3 months, depending on the project.
So they start editing during the shooting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they make some pre-edits like that, and then after the shoot they continue editing.
Yeah.
And then the moment when there's a final lock, then we start grading.
So lock on the edits.
Yeah,
like
a lock on the edit.
No
a picture lock, like they say.
Nice.
And then we start grading. So grading is the final step.
Yeah.
Because in between there also when the lock is there from the edit, you also have the VFX. And nowadays these two things like VFX and grading, they run simultaneously.
Okay.
Ideally, the VFX are done before the grading starts, but nowadays that's never the case because of time that we don't have sometimes. So I did some projects where I started the grading and finalized the grading before any of the VFX were done. That's not always easy.
And how? Yeah, because you need a final cut, basically, right?
Yeah. I need the final image just to fine tune it and all the details. And when you are grading and you see green screens and whatever.
How can you color grade that?
Yeah, you just skip them. And then hope that the VFX comes in on time. But that's not always the case. And then sometimes it takes a month to finish everything, and then I have to go back to wrap that up. But it's difficult because when you're starting a project, you're in that zone. You're in the world of that project, and then when you're out for a month, it's difficult to get in there. I'm already doing other stuff. Then so it's difficult, but it's doable, but it's not ideal.
Yeah, I find it's the same. It's hard to like when you're in a project, you're all the way in it. You get this tunnel vision almost. Like your focus is all there, and then if you have to take a break for a couple of weeks, and then do like a small adjustment, which doesn't give you the time to get into it, it's difficult. It's like it's nice to finalize.
Yeah,
things,
that's
you know,
true.
like
But
once you're like
yeah, but on the
focused
other
on
hand,
it.
it's also sometimes a good thing that you have like a month off,
True.
because then you have fresh eyes.
For
You look at
colors,
it
definitely.
differently, and then you see some other stuff that you didn't see before because of that tunnel vision, and that's also nice to have. But yeah,
I have this sometimes with editing photos and stuff where I'm like like if it's a lot of photos or something and I get so into it and then sometimes I put it aside for like at least a couple of hours or something, come back and then like notice that everything is like way too light or something. And then you're so much into it. Do you have this sometimes too, where you're like, do you take like once you've done a look that you walk away and come back and you're like, oh, actually, like it is too dark.
I have that a lot, because I'm never fully happy about anything. I'm always happy because I try to not let something go without me being happy about it. But afterwards, when I go to the premiere or something of a film, I always see, maybe that one could just small details, and then it's let's say I'm 98% happy, and then.
But it's like you can always tweak something.
You
Will
can
it ever be?
No, you can
100%
tweak forever.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
that's always the case. But it's not possible, of course.
Okay. So you went from the music to the film school because because of the bands. That's how it went, right?
Yeah.
So film school, and how did that bring you to becoming a colorist? Like, how did that go?
Whew. Yeah, so I went to film school, wanted to do sound first, but it didn't attract me as much as I thought it would have done. So I decided to go for the image, so to graduate as a DP. And after film school, I started out on set on a TV series Vermist that was shot on 16mm.
I also worked on.
Yeah. And
clapper loader.
Clapper loader. For me too. It was clapper loader.
I think they had a bunch of us at that time.
Oh yeah, probably.
2 weeks for this. That was great to be honest. It was such a nice experience.
It was a nice set also.
As a young guy, nice set, and like it came after the film, right? I think, or was it no? I think there was a
I think there was a film first, and then
this was a spin-off series.
They did series,
but shot on 16mm film.
Yeah,
I was telling this story not so long ago. I'm like, that was kind of crazy that you could, like, we weren't even graduated, like 20 something. Like I think I was 20 years old or 21 years old.
No.
And then they shoot a scene on film, right? And the responsibility of loading the film and unloading the film, which in my eyes is like that's all of the investment, the entire production, like
the total budget of that thing,
fragile carrier, right? Like film, and then you have to be like with your sweaty hands in a tent and like on the side, you know. Hopefully you did everything right. Like imagine if you would fuck it up and then like because you're so young and you're like, oh my god, this is like an internship. Like I don't know, it's such a responsibility.
It's crazy when you think about it. It's crazy,
right?
But
it was a great experience.
Yeah, that's the way how it is. But So
you did that.
I did that, and then I worked on that set for 3-4 months. I think the shoot was over, but I didn't really have anything else. But I really wanted to know what next. It's shot on film. We have the film there. What happens next? It needs to be developed. How will it look? So I was searching for something else, and then I came in contact by a teacher of that you also had, Arno Teuring. He let me know that they were that they had an open position for a telecine operator.
He was working at Ace.
At Ace Digital House, and I went I went to ACE. I got the job and started out as a telecine, and it was fun because I saw the footage that I was on set.
Yeah, the same.
Was processed there.
So telecine for people is the conversion.
That is converting the developed negative of the film, 60 millimeter in this case, to a digital
like
image. Scanning, and in that time it was on tape, I think.
They went from film to tape.
Yeah, they recorded it on tape, and then
was this analog tape or digital tape?
Digital, it was, right? I think the early day it was Betacam SP and Digibeta, and then it evolved to HDCam SR. It's a digital format.
Digital on tape.
Yeah, it's still tape, but digital.
Yeah.
And afterwards, then the scanning happened to use those files, and it was 2K DPX files.
Okay.
To use in grading, so they had all the whole latitude of the film, so the full details, the captured details of the film in the digital grade.
Like the latitude is like the dynamic range.
The dynamic range of the film stock. Yeah.
Okay, so you had to do that. They asked you to do that conversion. Was that hard, or was that like
in the beginning? It's learning, because
what do you have to do there? Like you have to.
At the beginning it's learning. You come there and you see the machine standing there. It was a Spirit 2000, I think. Mm-hmm. And you know that machine costs a lot of money.
I
don't know the exact price, but I think it was around 600K or so. I don't know.
For for a scan.
The scanning machine. And then you have a control panel.
Right, because the film, it's you're scanning from the film. So
you
like,
have to put the film
like a
on.
projector too, or something.
No,
well, like having to run the spools of film.
It has the same connotation maybe, but it's not a projector, of course.
No.
But
like it's not a computer. Like it's a computer too, but like it's not just a computer.
No.
So this is a big machine.
It's a big machine. Costs a lot of money, lots of responsibility also, and I could do that. I had somebody who trained me, of course.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, I was working mostly night shifts because during the day they were using the machine for actual grading. That was called a best light. So for commercials and stuff, those things were also shot still on 16 and 35 millimeter.
And they did color grading straight on the scanning.
On the film,
Okay.
And then after the grading was done, they just scanned everything out with the settings on.
Okay.
So that was the thing, but that's why I had to do my job in the early days during nighttime. So I had a very good relationship with the security guy. Yeah. So that was fun. But the first films I did scanning was Runskop.
Oh wow.
Bullhead in English, and
really
Loft. I think those were the first films I did something on.
Impressive projects.
It was nice.
But then for film. For for movies, it would be more like a color correcting kind of first step or something, or what, like the scanning, what you did, and then color grading happens after.
Yeah, the color grading was afterwards.
So you had to like really see like that the dynamic range was fully optimized.
Yeah.
You had a good.
During the scanning, I did basic. Printer light thing, so that's a bit of a point of red or a point of green, more just to neutralize the image as much as possible. That was during the telecine part, but if for the actual scanning we kept the negative as close as how it was shot, so we didn't alter it too much. So in the grading, they have the intention what the DP had on set. They have it also in the grading. So we didn't change it too much unless it was really necessary because there was something wrong during the shoot or during development. We had to correct it, of course.
Yeah.
But,
like underexposed, overexposed.
Yeah, underexposed, or the how do you say? It was the film stock was like tungsten, but it was shot with daylight lighting.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's on purpose, but sometimes it's just wrong, and then you have to correct it already a bit.
Yeah.
So they have a bit more or less neutral image in grading.
Can you do that conversion? Yeah, with film and scanning, like from tungsten film, like shot in daylight, you can completely pull it back to.
Yeah, it's all color temperature wise. You can do it, so it's yeah.
Well, yeah. Like I know in raw photography, digital photography, you have this freedom, and I know in some raw video, there's also already like, even though I've heard that it's not the same as photo raw. With photo raw, you can actually like just move it from one, like the whole spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know with video raw if that's like. Do you have this? Is this the case
if it's
in
actually
like
shot
Amida
on,
and stuff and like?
If it's actually shot in raw, yeah, you can go pretty far without destroying the signal too much. Because that's the advantage of raw, that you can on a sensor level, let's say, can change stuff. But if you don't shoot raw and then you start changing, it's more destructive to the final image. But it's possible.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right, so you started in the telecine, and then what happened?
Then what happened?
You got tired of the night shift.
Tired of the night shift. Then, something happened. This Ace Digital House, they went bankrupt because of bank crisis stuff. Yeah. But to be honest, that was for me a lucky thing that happened, because all in the beginning when I started at Ace, there were like 30 people or so working there in all different branches. But after the bankruptcy, we were only with 6 left.
Okay.
And I was asked by the boss, are you willing to go further with Ace and go for color?
Okay.
I thought, why not? We will see. So I was a bit pushed on the first chair, let's say, without knowing that much about it. But I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning, but somehow those mistakes made me what I am now. So it helped me also. So for me, it's a lucky thing that happened. It's weird that a bankruptcy can be a lucky thing, but for me, it helped me.
It created an opportunity for you. That's nice.
So, and then I kept working for that company. It was still Ace, but it was Ace Image Factory then.
Okay, so it was like
rebranded and stuff like this. And then I worked for them like for 8 or 9 years, and then in 2019 I went freelance.
Okay.
But during that time at Ace, it was amazing. I got to know a lot of people, and also technical stuff. Because you are working in a company, you have a bit more time to learn the technical stuff and how to fix certain things, or how to achieve certain, in my case, looks that sometimes as a freelancer you are going from one job to the other and you don't have time enough to do research. And working for Ace, I had time, and they allowed me that time also. So I learned a lot from that. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's really nice. They were like they are like a leading company, I think.
Yeah,
right?
now it's not
Post-production.
Ace anymore. Now
No.
they combined with
But-
in the pack. Now it's called the pack, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
The
talent that was there, probably
Yeah, they are all over the
all over the place.
post-production
Yeah.
place. Yeah,
Still around.
yeah. So yeah.
All right. So Ace and now freelance. You've worked on Will.
Yeah.
Will. New
yeah.
movie
Yeah.
that came out. I've heard some stuff about it. How was that? How was like?
Will, I'm pretty proud of. Yeah, it was for me. That's one of those projects that had a really ideal pipeline, let's say, because before the DP Robrecht, he shot test footage. We got the test footage in. Decided on a look, recreated some looks. He got some mood boards. We go back and forth a bit. Then the director comes in. I really like this painting, and incorporated those colors into that look. And then we had a final look. We rendered out the tests. Then we invited everybody in, like makeup department, hair department, costume. Art department to look at those tests, and then we discussed small details like the colors of the buttons of the costumes or the hair color of the main characters, stuff like this. So it all those things added up to something that I'm pretty proud of.
And everyone was involved in the everyone you got to say of pre-production.
Yeah, in pre-production.
Wow, that's incredible.
So
because that doesn't happen every time, right? Like that.
Yeah, most of the time there's no time.
Can give their opinion on.
Yeah.
Because they always really put a lot of work and effort into those projects too, but they don't always get like a view on what it's actually gonna look like once they can see.
No, that's true.
See what they're doing on set. They maybe have a briefing or like a mood board of what it's going to become in the end. But then they don't get a say usually in.
No, that's true. But I'm glad they did now because the final result is really good. I'm proud of it. I think everybody that worked on it is proud of it. So yeah, that's nice. I really enjoyed doing that film, and also my relationship with Robrecht. We know each other by heart, so he just has to look at me, and I already know what he wants.
Each other.
Yeah, so that's really nice.
Okay, I guess you start working with some people, and then kind of hit it off, and then you just keep going towards each other for every future project.
Yeah.
Or some.
In the case with Robrecht, it's now 15 years or so we're working together. So
from film school.
I think he did some short films after film school, and then I think the third one or so we started working together.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
All right. So it's still a secret at this moment, I heard.
Yeah.
But I heard you got nominated for... Maybe you should say it.
Yeah.
So I don't say it wrong.
For Will, I'm really happy because I've nominated for the Filmlight Colour Awards. The official announcement will be very soon, so I don't know who are the other nominees. But I'm proud to get this kind of recognition. You have to be honest. Will, it's a very nice film, and for our area, so Belgium, Holland, it's pretty decent budget. But if you compare it to Hollywood's size budget, it's nothing. So it's to get this kind of recognition, it's cool. Yeah. So I'm pretty proud of it. So
it's a prestigious award. Like, weren't you? You told me who were the last winners then, I
I
guess, or
think
like
last
also
year,
nominated?
because I'm nominated in the theatrical feature category.
Okay.
Last year in that category, there were films like June, No Time to Die from James Bond, and then West Side Story.
Dune is one of those films that's like been I see referenced a lot for color grading.
Oh
too,
yeah,
right?
also
Like,
yeah.
it was a great movie.
So yeah,
Christopher Nolan, right? No, Dune. I know. I know you're talking Dune.
June. Denis Villeneuve is the director.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about Dunkirk.
Ah, Dunkirk. That's Christopher Nolan.
Right.
Yeah.
Dune, Dunkirk.
No, but yeah, it's
that's
last
incredible.
year West Side Story won the latest West Side Story from Steven Spielberg, so that looked amazing. But it's cool just to know that this year a smaller film like Will is also in there. So
yeah, because do you have a view like doesn't have to be exactly correct, but like do you know like what kind of budget did Will have approximately, and what kind of budget does a West Side Story from Steven Spielberg?
That I don't know. I think Will the production will kill me if I'm wrong, but I think it's around 7 billion euros or something like that.
Which one?
Will
7 million euros.
Yeah.
Something
So
like
for
that.
Belgium, that's a pretty decent budget already.
But compared to Hollywood, this is like,
Hollywood, it's yeah.
They're like in the hundreds of millions, right? Or,
yeah, I think Juno is close to 80, 90. I don't know.
okay.
I'm not sure.
Like 10 times.
Yeah. So it's
more.
It's a whole other level, but it's nice that a small film is also recognized. So
absolutely, yeah.
And it's also by industry professionals. It's like in the jury there's Lawrence Sher. He's the president of the jury, and that's the DP of Joker. For instance, also Greg Fraser, the DP of the Batman.
Wow.
And the Mandalorian and stuff. So these are really talented people. So it's nice. So
congratulations already.
Thanks. We will see. It's
really cool.
How I think the awards are the 12th of November. So we will see coming up in Poland. So
is it with a ceremony and everything?
Yeah, it's there's during that time there's also Kamer Image in Poland. It's like a film festival but focused on cinematography.
Okay.
And during that time also the awards for color are awarded. So let's hope we will see.
Just to be nominated is already incredible. I think, you know, because out of how many
I think I read there were 400 projects that were
submitted.
Yeah, submitted. Yeah.
Wow.
And then you have, I think, 5 or 6 categories like film, then TV series, commercials, video music, music video, and then one spotlight category for really low budget stuff, but it's below $1 million.
Like really independent kind of.
Yeah. So
wow, how far you've come, right? Like we started in this silly films. Oh, like not silly, but like we started in the film school as like little 20-something-year-old little dudes. Like,
it's weird. It's weird, but I'm somebody that lives day by day, so.
Right.
For me, it's nice that it keeps going up. But I'm true enough to myself that sometimes it can go down also. So
yeah. What would going down mean? What would that be for you?
Maybe when you get a bit older, you get a bit less relevant. Yeah, you're not hip anymore. But I try to. Invest time into reinventing some stuff for looks or whatever. So
right,
but it's difficult.
But it's also a part listening probably too, no? And like how you are with people, like because you have to work with directors and directors of photography. So
part of the job is
unless you're gonna be like, this is the way I do it, and like,
no,
don't change my mind, you know. If you keep an open mind, and you have all of this technological background and experience.
No.
Like honestly, you're set. You're set.
I don't know. Yeah, we will see.
You're a good guy. I always like to, like with the. I really remember in film school it was like we were like half of that school were musicians or also.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I remember I rattled a couple of guys, including you, I think, up to do some. Where we recorded some bands that I was like, I was in the hardcore, Villevaux, the hardcore scene. And we had like this little show or festival.
I have a vague memory.
I still have the footage
of you, performing. I was walking around there. I don't know if I was shooting it or filming something. I don't know. Anyway,
I was there. I think it was, and it was all on our little handy cams that we had bought for like our final year projects.
No.
Which were crazy expensive if you compare them to what we have now, you know. Like it was like I remember paying 1,300 euros for my like Panasonic 3 CCD.
Those were the days.
And it was like $500 more because it had like this manual focus ring or something. Oh my god, it was which is, but yeah. And then now, but I remember I rattled us up. Where I asked you guys to help me film, and then we like did a little. It's on YouTube, I think. One of the
I have to look it up.
Yeah, like one of the bands that was there. It was like this live captation. Very rock and roll. Yeah. In the early days of YouTube.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Is this like? Well, yeah. You already said you really live in the now. But was this anywhere like? Did you envision this a little bit? You know, like, are you...
No.
Living the dream?
Living
your dream?
Yeah, maybe. I'm happy where I am in life, also with the family and stuff. So, in a way, I'm living the dream,
Yeah.
For me, it doesn't have to be... big blockbuster stuff or work-wise then. So I'm happy how it's going now. So yeah, for me that's definitely the dream. Let's say.
Okay. Because what is like? Do you have more ambition or like? Is there something on your bucket list that you really want to do, like a color grade in IMAX film?
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
With the whole Christopher Nolan.
Who knows? No, I would really like to do that, of course. To have a big film, big budget, like on endless possibilities. Let's say it's never endless, of course, but that you have more means to do your thing, more time. Yeah. So yeah, why not?
That's what that budget usually comes down to, right? Is more time.
It's more a budget thing, but yeah, I would really love to do that, of course. But yeah, like I said, I'm already happy how it's going now. So the people I work with, producers, directors, DPs, I get along with them. So it's always a nice working environment. So that's already enough for me. But yeah. If in the future if Tarantino or whatever calls, I wouldn't.
He probably has a colorist. I would imagine, but yeah.
No, it would be cool, but yeah, I'm pretty realistic about that.
Yeah. Well, or maybe one of the directors that you're already working with becomes or one of the DPs becomes like the next Tarantino.
Oh yeah, who knows?
You know, like,
we will
status.
See. We will see.
All right. And so, what would you say is the hardest part about your job?
There's one thing I really hate about myself is that I sometimes think that I'm doing the same thing that I did before. So if I have a look, I always try to do something new, but so difficult to renew yourself sometimes. So that's one thing. And the other part is the balance between family life and work life, because I'm a pretty workaholic, let's say. So
but you also get into this tunnel vision, right? Like, because these are long sessions, I guess, too.
These are
like,
long sessions. A film
takes a lot of work.
A film is most of the time 2-3 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And then during the day, let's say a 9-hour days minimal, and then sometimes it's up to 12. Sometimes when I'm working in Amsterdam or so, since I'm there, and otherwise I'm just sitting on a hotel room, so I do sometimes days of 14 hours or so. But it's
in a dark room.
In a dark room, so I have to take vitamin D pills, especially in winter, just to stay. Really pale. Yeah, but that's one of the things. Yeah, I have to step out of the room a bit more. But yeah, I'm in that zone sometimes, and then you're so focused, and then
that was one of the things. So because in film school, in the RITS Film School, we did. The first year was like general beeld, geluid, montage. Like, where'd you say this? Image, sound, and editing. You get like an overview. And I remember we had to make a choice, which my choice, like yours, I guess, was going to be sound.
And then, in the beginning,
and then became image or like camera. But then the editing was like, man, I don't want to sit at a desk. I remember that was one of my big motivations from like, not even like if I like editing, I'm like, I want to be on the set, like carrying lights and all that stuff.
Yeah, to be honest, that was my
now
first thing.
I don't mind so much.
That was also my first thing, to be on set and interact with lots of people and go from one place to another, day, night, whatever. But now I'm also sitting at a desk. But it's nice because I have other things that are my outlet, and in most cases that's also finding a good look. And for me, what I like the most about the job is finding the look, the search for the look, and then the grading comes afterwards. It's more in, if we go into details, but finding the actual look, the research towards that look, I really like.
Because I don't think we have it like. So the director or the director of photography comes to you first, and then you go prepare a look before they even start shooting. Right? Like, there's already discussions with mood boards and
mood boards, visual references, painting, whatever.
And then they can use this on the set already and like
have
a LUT,
I create a
custom LUT.
A LUT. They can load it into the camera, and then they have it on set and towards the whole, during the whole editing process also, because it's also a psychological thing. When the director and the is in the editing suite and he doesn't have the look already on the footage, he's getting. But also producers, they're getting accustomed to how it looks now and during the editing. Then it will be a very big step in the grading to do it all, do it something else, let's say.
So it's also for that shock to.
The sooner you get a look in, the better, I think. And then you have a bit more playroom afterwards. Otherwise, it's always a big shock because they are getting used to the picture, how it is. And they are also a bit in that tunnel vision of that look, because you can do a very plain look, but if they are used to it and then you go something extreme, it's a big shock.
So much color.
So the sooner the look is in, the better.
Okay. And what would you say is the best part of your job? Like,
meeting new people, I think.
Because you work with artists.
Actually,
I always feel like where we come from, the film, like the classical film education that we had, like we were never really considered artists, but then like more of a technical kind of, like an editor, for instance, is like still kind of viewed like a film editor or a video editor, still kind of viewed as this more like technical service. Even though I think like editing more and more, it's like it's really an art to, like, it's a very artistic thing. You're,
of course,
you're
because
contributing to the storytelling.
you kind of, as an editor, you also kind of do directing,
Right.
because you can direct the story wherever you want it to be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you could change it all up.
yeah. So
Like you can
it's
make
not pure technical. It's
No.
but it's also in grading. You have it's technical and creative.
Like in my eyes, you're all artists. I think.
No.
Like the director, you know, it's a very art. Like you're creating art. You know, like, even when you're doing commercials, sometimes you know, like it's still the art of making something visually pleasing. That, and if you're a good director, I think like you can make your directions and your art direction and your storytelling work in favor of the brand and the product and stuff. You know, like there's still an art like involved in that. So So, but you work with artists.
Yeah,
That's
for
nice.
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
We kind of amplify each other, of course, because everybody has his own vision of something, and then you join your visions, let's say, and you create something beautiful out of it. So it's very nice working with people, and also meeting a lot of new people also, because sometimes I work with people I never worked with before, and when it clicks, it's amazing what comes out of it sometimes. So that's nice.
All right. Yeah. So, like, do you have any advice for people who are into coloring visual videos, visual images, like, or people who are looking up to you? Probably, like, I'm sure you have people that are like,
I don't know.
That Tom is like,
I don't know. I just think stay true to yourself. Be who you are. Do try a lot of things. Probably sometimes it won't work, but at least you tried it. Just go for it, and if you really want to go for grading, just analyze lots of stuff. Watch a lot of movies, analyze stills from films, stuff like this. Try to recreate it, but also be very open towards other people, because in a way it's also about networking with other people. You have to have clients, otherwise the jobs won't come for free. So that's also a part. So be open towards other people, very social. Be open for other people's visions, creative ideas, and that's important, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was really interesting.
Okay.
To talk to you.
Cool.
I'm proud of you.
Okay, thanks.
It's thinking of us.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
We didn't know.
We started out with 200 students in the auditorium. Second year, only 60 of us went through.
And it was a great time. I had so much fun back then. And we learned so much, and then with like technology advancing now and like the whole digital
too
landscape.
Fast sometimes.
Yeah, now realizing like with that old camera, those camera things that we had, like something, I look at that thing and I'm like, man, it was just like, it was great, but also like just complete junk compared to what you can buy now and like you could do like. No. Cool. Great to talk to you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I hope the nomination turns into something more,
but I'm already happy to get the recognition already. So
that's a great attitude.
So all right, cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And is there a place where people can follow you? Like, are you open on social media or something?
I'm on Instagram.
Because where you share your work on LinkedIn, I think sometimes too. No?
LinkedIn, not so much. Mostly Instagram. I also have a website, tommulder.eu.
We could put it. It'll be in the bio.
Yeah. But for the rest, I'm more a people-to-people person, so
old school.
they can contact me. Contact is on the website. So
Okay.
all right.
Great. Thank you very much.
All right. You're welcome.
Doe een eindklap. Voilà.
Goed.
Nu was het wel aan het opnemen.
Oh, gelukkig. Anders.